All right, 3rd Nephi, chapter 1. Trigger warning for those that want the old version. This is not it. So it came to pass, the 91st year pulled up, and fam, we're talking 600 years since Lehi and crew said, bye, Jerusalem. And yo, Lachoneus was out here running the whole operation as the main character, chief judge and governor. Hashtag Lachoneus for president. Nephi, son of Helaman, yep, another Nephi, decided it was time to dip out of Zarahemla. But before leaving, he was like, yo, son, you're the CEO of the sacred plates now. Take care of them like they're solid gold. And son Nephi's like, bet, I got this. Family business. And then Nephi Sr. legit just vanishes. No forwarding address, no text, no finsta clues. Dude's gone. And no one knows where he went. But Junior's out here like, okay, I guess I'm in charge now. Taking care of the sacred records. Hashtag Nephi vanished. Fast forward to year 92, and you better believe it. Prophecies start popping off left and right, like a crazy good season finale. Every single one of them, of those prophecies, yup, coming up true. No cap. Miracles? Bigger signs? Extra AF? People were like, whoa, what's happening? Hashtag prophecy unlocked. But of course, there were those haters out there flexing on the believers like, lol, time's up. Samuel the Lamanite was cap. Ain't no way this is happening now. Y'all got played. Hashtag haters gonna hate. Verse 6. They were throwing shade at the believers hard. Like, bruh, your faith, big yikes. That was all for nothing. And the believers started feeling pressed. Like, what if they're right? What if we got this all wrong? Hashtag faith crisis. Verse 7. The haters would make such a ruckus, and the believers, they started feeling hella sad, wondering if maybe, just maybe, it wasn't going to happen like they hope. They're all worried like, did we get our hopes up for nothing? Hashtag faith under fire. Verse 8. But guess what? The real ones, the ones who truly believed, kept their eyes glued to the skies, watching for the promised no sight sign. You know, the one where it stays bright for a whole day and night. They were like, hold up, we got to see if our faith was legit. Hashtag eyes on the prize. Verse 9. Meanwhile, the unbelievers are getting real toxic. They were like, okay, if the sign doesn't show up by tomorrow, we're wiping all you believers. We're wiping out all you believers. No cap. Straight up hit list. Countdown to destruction. Nephi Jr. saw this chaos going down and felt mad bad for his people. His heart, exceedingly heavy. The wickedness was too much to handle. Hashtag heavy-hearted. So Nephi pulls up the classic prophet move, hits the ground on his knees, and starts crying out to God like, Lord, please help me. My people are about to get wrecked just because they had faith. He's out here praying with all intensity. Hashtag Nephi on his knees. Verse 13. Yo, Nephi, stop tripping, my dude. Good vibes only, because the time is here. Tonight the sign is coming, and tomorrow I'm pulling up in the flesh. Everything I said, yup, it's happening. No cap. 100. I told you if I'd fulfill all the prophecies through the prophets, bet on it. Hashtag God's plan. Verse 14. I'm coming through to do all the things I promised since the start of the world. I'm doing my Father's work and mine. This is This is a full-on dual flex, father-son style. And oh yeah, the time? It's now, tonight. Be ready, fam. And just like that, the prophecy was fulfilled, word for word. The sun went down, but guess what? No darkness, none. People were shook because it stayed lit like it was midday, even though night was supposed to fall. Verse 16, all the haters, yeah, they were not ready for this. They literally hit the floor playing dead because they realized, uh-oh, we messed up. The big plan they had to destroy the believers cancels. Hashtag prophecy confirmed. The realization hit them hard, like, OMG, the Son of God is actually about to pull up. They were so shooketh, they couldn't even handle it and just fell to the ground. Hashtag too shook to speak. Verse 18. Now the haters were sweating bullets because they knew the prophets had been spitting facts for years. And now they're like, bruh, we done goofed. Their guilt and disbelief hit them deep. Hashtag prophecy regrets. Verse 19. And guess what? The whole night stayed bright AF. People were like, yo, is this midday or nah? When the sun came back up in the morning, it was crystal clear. This was the day Christ was born. The sign had officially dropped. Hashtag bright night. Verse 20. Everything went down exactly as the prophets had called it. Like, not one thing was off. Hashtag flawless execution. Verse 21. And oh, there was a new star in the sky, just like Samuel the Lamanite said, a literal star showing up on cue. Verse 22. But of course, Satan couldn't leave it alone. Dude's out here spreading fake news to the hardened people's hearts, trying to make them doubt the signs like, nah, this ain't it, cap. But the real ones, they weren't falling for it. Most of the people believed and got converted. Nephi and his squad hit the streets, baptizing folks left and right. And guess what? There was a huge remission of sins going down. Like people were getting hella clean. Hashtag spiritual glow up. And the land was mad peaceful. No beef, no drama. Well, except for a few who were like, yo, we don't need to follow the law of Moses anymore, right? They were kind of mid on their understanding. Hashtag scripture confusion. Verse 25. And they eventually got the memo. Like, oops, actually the law of Moses still stands for now. They owned up on their error and were like, my bad. Hashtag learning curve. Verse 26. So yeah, the 92nd year wrapped up with glad vibes. Because all the signs came through on point. Just like the prophet said. Hashtag prophecy nailed it. Verse 27. Year 93 came in strong, still peaceful. Well, except for those Gadianton robbers hiding in the mountains. They were still out here wildin', causing major problems. Their hideouts were so strong that nobody could catch them. Hashtag mountain villains. Verse 28. By the year 94, the Gadianton gang was growing big time. Why? Because a bunch of Nephites who were mad salty defected and joined them. The remaining Nephites were like, bro, this is tragic. Hashtag Nephite drama. Verse 29. And even the Lamanites, they were low-key heartbroken. The kids were getting swooped up by the Zoramite recruiters with all their smooth talkers, convincing them to roll with the robbers. Major L for the Lamanites. Hashtag parenting woes. So, yeah, the Lamanites were really feeling it. Their faith took a massive glow down, and the rising generation wasn't about that righteousness anymore. Hashtag fallen away. This has been 3rd Nephi, chapter 1.